If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have John Howard back on the show. He returns to action in the PFL welterweight playoffs October 11th in Las Vegas. He's going to take on David Michaud in the quarterfinals. And if all goes the way he expects it to, he will fight once more. And if victorious there, he's going to move on to the championship fight and a shot at $1 million. How are you, Mr. Doomsday? Great to have you back, man.
I am great. Thanks for having me. Again, man, I'm excited, man. I have just straight excitement.
We're a little over a month away from this fight in this, potential two fights, the possibility of having two fights in one night on the road to becoming a millionaire. How's everything been going in preparation for the fights?
Everything's been good, man. I've been training real good. I've been training with real good Sean Graham, FAF Kickboxing in Holbrook in Boston. Just getting ready. We have a good strategy, training hard, and I don't want to reveal too much what I'm doing, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited, man. I'm very excited.
I mean, how can you not be excited after that last fight? You take on Ray Cooper, a guy that was the star of the season in the welterweight division, maybe for the entire organization last year with his big finishes. You come in as a plus 400 underdog, and you hit him with a big left hook that hurt him. And then as he gets back to his feet, you hit him with another big left hook that dropped him, and then you finish the fight. That's such a huge win for you, man. I mean, you shocked a lot of people with that victory. What was going through your mind when the referee pulled you off?
I was in my moment, man. Honestly, I got to tell the truth about the fight. Ray, thank you. Shout out to Ray Cooper one because he woke me back up. He woke Doomsday back up. He literally scared the Doomsday out of me. That's why I keep telling everybody because what happened is, man, Ray wanted that fight. He wanted like to bang, and I was shocked. And I was like, oh, that's the type of fight you want to see who gets knocked out. So when he brought it out of me, I want to thank him because I haven't felt that since I'm in the UFC, that rage of like knocking people out since like UFC and CES days. But now, after that feeling, dude, I felt like Doomsday again. I felt like I'm back in my element. I felt like I'm back, dude. Like, I can't wait to hit people again. Like, now, I'm so excited. Like, I can't. It was one of those experiences like, oh, that's what Doomsday used to be. Okay, now Doomsday's back being that, so I'm excited.
Where would you rank that win in your career? I mean, we talk about the importance of what that did for you here at this point, but you had these, incredibly talented people out there making these video game-like graphic videos with that knockout. Everybody was talking about it for a while after the fight. Like, where does that win and that finish rank in your career?
Well, man, to tell you the truth, where it ranks in my career, that's a big win for me because he beat Jake Shields twice, man. So that's been pretty impressive. Jake Shields, I hold him as a high caliber fighter. So to beat Ray Cooper like that, man, I think that puts me back in the mix of things. That I have the potential to fight anybody who's up and coming, whether it be like if they come back from the UFC to PFL or up and comers. But it made me really relevant again. I appreciate that, and it feels good. It feels good to be one of those guys to watch for again.
This is a crazy sport, as you know. You've been competing professionally for about 15 years now, and with a win like that, you opened up a lot of people's eyes. Is it weird knowing that despite having this long career, being in the UFC, World Series of Fighting, now the PFL, after over 40 fights, that you can still surprise and shock people, that people just forget that you've been in the game for so long?
Yeah, man, it still shocks me. I'm sorry, did I lose on your video? Am I still there?
Yeah, you're still here.
All right, I'm really sure. I'm sorry. It does, man, because, I feel like I'm a veteran in this game a long time, and the fact that I can still shock people and do that and still be relevant, it's so important to me because, people used to, like, I see the fans' comments, I'm old, maybe I should retire, all the sideways stuff I hear, and the fact that shocked the world and had everybody saying, oh, man, you still got it. I'm like, yeah, like I say, I always have it. I didn't be reminded. But I got reminded, and, I'm happy to be back, man. I'm happy to be my name back in people's mouths again, my name back in the elements, the whole video game thing Ray Ramon made on Instagram. Awesome, man. Shout out to him. It's awesome to be relevant again. I just want to thank the fans for still hanging with me, the real fans that had my back the whole time, and to say like, yeah, I'm back, and I'm going to keep going. I ain't stopping.
On to October 11th in Las Vegas. You take on David Michaud, and David's been in this game almost as long as you have. He's been in the UFC, the Titan FCs, the LFAs. He's one of those guys that, a lot of fans are wondering why he didn't get another shot at the UFC. And here he is in the PFL looking to become a millionaire and be a champion in his own right. What do you know about David?
He's a good wrestler. Very good wrestler, man. Good submission artist, man. Yeah, he's a key point. Steady him, man, and I think he's. Even though he's a good grappler, I like to say he's well rounded. He does have power in his hands, so I have to respect his whole game between the ground and striking. I believe I'm a better striker. I believe I have a better power, so obviously it's striking versus grappler. But I gotta go in there, be smart, and do what I gotta do, man. I can't look past him. A lot of people are saying like this is like a fight I should be looking past, or I think they're talking over him. I'm not. I'm taking him very seriously. I know how legit he is. He fought world-class fighters like I did. Like you said, he's been in the game a long time. So that being said, him being seasoned, he knows how to take someone out if he needs to. The whole hype train and all this, if I'm on this hype train now, it doesn't affect us. So that being said, this is like I feel this is a winnable fight for me, but I still have to be cautious and really go on there on my P's and Q's.
You were in this position last year at 185 pounds. You made it to the playoffs. You got a win, and then you fought Lewis Taylor, and it ended in somewhat controversial fashion with the illegal blow. You couldn't continue, and they declared it a technical draw. But I guess he won the first round, so he advanced. Like, it was a pretty bizarre situation watching it from home. What was your take on all of that?
Dude, to tell you the truth, sorry about that.
It's all good.
To tell you the truth, how I feel about that, the loss with Taylor, it was disheartening. It was hard, man. But it made me better, man. I'm back in the PFL again as a welterweight, and doing damage. It just fueled the fire and motivate me to do better. And everything doesn't turn out the way you plan sometimes, even though it should have been in my favor, I think. But it's just I'm not gonna use an excuse. It was a draw. He didn't beat me. It was a definite draw. That's the one thing I do want to say. And that being said, it just motivated me to come back as a welterweight and come back harder, And it just frustrates me. Thinking about it frustrates me now how mad I am because it was $1 million, and I feel I was wronged it. But instead of being frustrated, being ignorant and acting outraged, whatever, I stayed in martial arts. And I stayed professional as a professional athlete, and that's why I'd rather come back this year. Excuse me. And next year also, definitely next year, as long as PFL keeps going, and is win this $1 million. Especially this year. To show that even though I was down and out, and the odds against me, that I'm still fighting. I'm here. And knowing that anything can happen in PFL, I'm preparing for anything to happen in PFL. So I'll be ready. I can't wait October 11th.
Do you feel more like a professional athlete fighting for PFL? Not saying that the UFC, the UFC is super professional, obviously, but this is sports. Like, this is what sports are all about. You got regular season, you got playoffs, you get championship. Like, do you feel more like a professional athlete now than you did before?
Yeah, man, I really do, man, because the way PFL is turning the whole car fighting, the whole reputation of MMA. They make us more of the athletes, and I love that. Between the promotion and the way they set it up, the points and the point system. They have a situation where it's a fair system where it's not about politics. It's not really about who's more popular. It's about literally how you seed it. Even in this season right now, you see the champion wasn't the highest seed in the league. Even though he was the champion, he wasn't the highest seed. He still had to fight. He won both his fight, but he's probably have to get seated, and I appreciate that. It doesn't matter how big who's following you, who likes you. It really matters about what you do and what you do in the cage. And because of that, I like the professionalism of PFL, because it doesn't matter who thinks or what. While it happens in the cage, like perfect example with me and Ray Cooper. He was a heavy favorite, honestly, but they still left it up into the cage, and look, I knocked him out, and now I'm in the playoffs, and I like that equal opportunity that PFL gives to us. It doesn't matter if you're down and out, you still have that same opportunity to get back to that. And now, especially making MMA fighters millionaires, that's really a big step, because now we're more about professional athletes. All these professional athletes football, soccer, not so much soccer, baseball, hockey, basketball. These are million-dollar athletes. No disrespect to them. I'm great for the craft, but they don't do what they do. Okay, and half of them can't do what we do, right? And I challenged them to that. They did. They won't survive. Half of them, guarantee you that. That being said, it's just like, but every sport has its place. Like I can't do what NFL and hockey players do at the same boat. So that being said, if the talent pool is that good where they can't do vice versa, we should be getting paid the same amount of money as they do.
I couldn't agree more. Anything about getting you guys more money is cool with me. What did you learn from the playoffs last year? I mean, we talked about the Taylor fight in particular, but having multiple fights on the same night. I'm not sure if you've been in that type of situation prior where you fought multiple times in the same night, but what did you take away from the playoffs last year?
I, I learned a lot, and last year. What I really learned is how exciting it is to fight for 2 times in one night. Because the first fight, you are dead nervous. That second fight, though, you just want to fight. You really don't care about winning or losing. It's more about like, wow, I'm about to fight another human being again. That's the most exciting part because it's a trip. It's like a roller coaster going up that big climb, the first climax. Okay, it's like doing that twice. The first time it's like, oh, all right. The second time you're ready for it. The second time you're like, I just want to enjoy this, and you just hope to survive it. So that's why that's what it feels like. What I learned from it is you just how to rest and be ready and how mentally prepared. Because the second fight is more mental than the physical. And if you train hard enough, it's not so much your body; it's more about your physical, your mental being. But if your mental being is straight, you'll be all right. But it's good to know that I can do it, but it's more exciting to do it. Like any MMA fight, especially UFC fights, that have to understand. We all used to want to see like the Pride fights fighting 2 times in one night, the old school UFC fight 3-4 times one night. Now I get to do that, and the fact I get to do that and experience that, it's just so exciting as a fighter to do something that not only that I love, but to do it to that extreme. Oh my goodness, I'm able to tell my grandkids and my future students the crazy times of the PFL and fighting twice in one night. I can't wait.
How do you, I mean, obviously I'm not a fighter, but how do you keep your adrenaline sort of in check there? Because you don't want to dump it all together, but you still want to get rest at the same time. So how do you find that balance in between the first and the second fight?
It's a combination of meditation and relaxation. What I do is usually I have my coaches with me, and we kind of right after this fight we separate. I go in the corner somewhere, kind of rest, and I get like a good like massage, like Thai style massage. We focus the body, see what's hurt, see what's not hurt. Rest it, cool off as much as possible, and then just get ready for the second one. That's all you want to do. You just want to relax the body. Once you've been to that once you have the first fight, your body's literally ready for war. Your body's like, I want more, I want more, I want more. It's like an adrenaline. It's like a drug. It's literally like a drug. So that's why you got to calm down. So what I do is I calm down and wait, and just wait till I get my second kick so I can fight.
How do you see this fight with David going down in the first round of the playoffs on October 11th?
I see. I think he's gonna try to take me down. I see. I'm probably gonna stuff his takedown and work my striking. I'm gonna be really smart with him. I'm not going there just to thinking like, oh, I'm gonna run over people. That's not my attitude. I'm gonna be real smart with him. And I'm gonna take what he gives me. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna knock him out. I'm like, yeah, I can knock him out. But forget, I am a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's a good wrestler. But if he takes me to the ground, he has to worry about my ground game, and he has to also worry about me taking him to the ground. People forget I do wrestle. I'm a high caliber wrestler. I don't use it as much because my hands are lethal, but I can wrestle. So don't be surprised if I pick him up and slam him on his head, or if I take him down ground and pound, or I finish him on the ground with submission. Last year, my first fight, I got 5 points by submission, and from a guy who never been submitted before. So that with Dave. Even though he's a good grappler, he doesn't understand. I'm also a real talented grappler too. So if his whole game plan is taking the ground, he also has to be smart. If he takes the ground, that it might be a trap down there too. So my game plan is to keep it standing. But if I have to take him down, That's an option too. My whole game plan for this fight is not particularly focusing on one aspect of fighting, of like striker versus grappler. I'm a complete fighter, so that means if I have to take him down and finish him, I'll do that too.
If all goes well, you'll face the winner of Glaico Franca and Andre Fiallo in the semifinals. Any preference there? Is there one guy you'd want to get in there over the other, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I'm actually I'm preparing for both of them because you never have another fight goes. So I can't sit here like I'm more prepared for this one versus right now. I'm definitely equal prepared for one because you never know fights go. Those are good two talented fighters. Doesn't matter who's high seeded or not. They two talented fighters. They face off and anything can happen. So respect to them and best wishes to them. Whoever wins that fight, I'll see you in the next round.
Winning this thing, I mean, you've said, you know this as well. It would be just massive. You become a champion, you win $1 million. It'd be such an amazing story, in my opinion, considering the career you've had. If you get through this thing and you win it all and you become a millionaire, what will that all mean to you?
It'll mean a change of life, man. I mean, I could be a better father to my kids. I could be a better man. Personally, I could just build, and I could definitely pay some serious bills off, pay some credit bills. I need to, but I could also, I can start a little bank account for my daughters because she's going to college. You know, I have a 17 and a 16-year-old. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I have a 17, 16-year-old. Oh my God, dad life, guys, dad life.
Yeah.
But no, they're growing up. They're about to go to college, so that not only I could be a better father to them, but I could give them a better passage way to college, you know, give them some money, have them with books and everything. If they don't get like tuition or anything like that, be that for them, you know, and give them the option to go to college and have most of the bills paid for them. And then provide a better life for my little ones. You know, I got 4 kids. I got 3 girls and 1 boy. You know, I got teenagers and little ones, I call them, you know, preteens, or 1 preteen. And I want to be a better father to them. I could change their life and show them that, you know, even though that we came from a hard time and a hard place, that we still made it. We did something incredible. So my winning experience won't only be my winning experience. It will be my family's, my daughters, my son, to see their father be something great and inspire them to do something great. Because I tell them, listen, you see daddy do it, yeah, well, I expect the same thing. That's an expectation. If you don't succeed, that's one thing, but I expect you to try. The one thing I teach my kids, even when I'm with that Taylor situation, I tell them, listen, you saw this situation because they saw it. They were mad. They were crying. They were like throwing stuff. And I tell them, listen, no. I understand, but the way you come through this is you come back stronger and harder. So I would like to teach my kids, even when stuff is not going your way, instead of quitting and doing the irrational thing, you keep doing the right thing. And if you keep doing the right thing, eventually the right thing will happen for you. So doing that, I can also be a great father and teach my kids a valuable lesson in life.
I think there's a difference between passion and love. Like, both are very intense. Both are very important when it comes to the sport, especially when you're getting in a cage and fighting another guy. You need something a little bit extra to get you through it. And I feel like you've always had the passion for mixed martial arts. I think it's always been there. But I feel like, you know, you and the sport have had an up and down relationship over the last several years, haven't you? So one thing I'm reading from you, and you kind of mentioned it after the Cooper win, is that you sort of found the Doomsday again. You have a smile on your face. You seem like you love MMA right now. Is that accurate to say? And if so, like, how does it feel to love that again?
That's very accurate. I found, honestly, to tell you the truth, I fell in love again. With MMA. It's like finding that girl, like, oh man, like you get divorced, like, oh okay, then you find someone, then you like, I don't believe in love no more. Then you meet that someone, and you felt that's what happened to me. I'm so back in love with MMA. Oh my goodness, I'm just so excited to fight. Like, that Doomsday is back. That kid you saw in the UFC that was knocking people out, yeah, he's back. He's back for sure. And I'm just so happy to have that found love again, that different love, that passion and that drive to that. Not even, the love is so strong. It's not even about winning again. It's about fucking fighting. I can't wait. It's about fighting, bro. It's literally about fighting. Win or lose, that's freaking God's will. When he wants to do, he wants to do. That being said, my job is to fight, but I love to fight. I'm back in love, and I can't wait. I can't wait.
You've been 15 years, man. I know you've talked retirement in the past. Doesn't seem like that's anything you're thinking about right now. You've given a lot to this sport. You've given a lot of yourself to this game for a long time. How much more do you think you have left to give to the sport? I mean, I hate even asking this question, but you and I have done some cool things together in the past.
Yeah.
So call me curious more than anything. How much more do you think you have left to give to the sport?
I'm gonna be honest. I've been asked that a few times. I have a lot more gifts to the sport. I had a conversation after Ray Cooper with Randy Couture, Captain America, and I asked him, like, dude, how'd you do it? How'd you keep going? What is it? He was like, just go, dude. He was like, keep going. It's hard to keep going. He said, do you love it? He's like, yeah. He's like, can you live? I was like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, then go, man. He was like, listen, I used to hear the comments and the rudeness, like, oh, you can't make it, you can't own. He's like, prove them all wrong, keep going. If you love the sport, go ahead. He's like, it's not going to be easy because we get older, the body's not the same. But dude, he's like, just keep going. He's like, don't quit. He's like, don't listen to them. Don't quit. And he was like, look, he's like, later in my career, in my 40s, I did a lot more bigger things ever than versus when I was younger in my career. He was like, I don't think I would have the greatest success I would have had I stopped when I listened to everybody else. But because I kept going, my name is in the archives now because I kept going. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You know what? You're right. That was inspiring to hear from Randy Couture to tell his story and to kind of push me to keep going. And that's why I'm going to keep going, man. It's guys like that watching for years, looking up like, wow, Randy Couture, the greatness, all the stuff he come, especially at the age they said that he couldn't do it, and he did it. And for him to tell me to keep going, he was like, and then he said on the side note, he was like, after seeing what I see tonight, you definitely ain't done. You got some time to have some fun. So keep going out there and do what you're doing. And him saying that and him realizing that I'm still that type of fighter, I'm gonna keep going to the real fall law, man. I love this sport, and I'm a die doing it, knowing me.
How cool is it to have, obviously Randy is an absolute legend. Eve Edwards is a legend. Sean O'Connell's there as well. How cool is that to sort of have those guys at your disposal to bounce ideas off of when you're competing for PFL?
Oh, it was awesome, man. Sean O'Connell, Eve Edwards, Randy, they have all those legends right there in the same room. And we were talking, even Boss Rutan too. He was there. It was just amazing to have that experience with them and, share, bounce ideas at them, what they do. And when you listen to advice, I think you should do this and think of that. And then they also commentate on your fight, which even helps you out. Like a perfect example, when I was watching my replay with Ray Cooper, the first thing Randy saw, John House just shot back and do a left hook. And it's exactly what I did. So it's like, it was weird to hear him say that. Like, it was like he was coaching me during the fight, and everything that he was coaching was happening. So that was an honor too, to have some amazing experts now to comment. And also I have amazing experts after you do with it to have questions like, listen, what you think? Well, maybe you should do X, Y, and Z, or you should do this. So it was just one of those things where it's the dream come true. All right, to be in the sport and have the legends, the world champions, watch you and do your thing and give you props for it.
He's found love again, ladies and gentlemen. John Doomsday Howard getting ready for the PFL playoffs, takes on David Michaud. October 11th in Las Vegas. The road to becoming a millionaire is right there in front of his face. This is unbelievable. John, I appreciate the time. Great catching up with you. Before we let you go, man, let the folks know where they can follow along on this journey with you via social media. Any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Shout out to Sean, give him FAF Kickboxing. Shout out to Dave Ginsburg, Dave Ginsburg Jiu-Jitsu Academy. On social media, John Doomsday Howard on Facebook fan page, John Doomsday Howard on IG, John Doomsday Howard on Snapchat. If you really want to talk to me, Snapchat is where it's at. Basically, any social outlet is John Doomsday Howard, and the social outlet, that's me. That's real easy. Besides that, thank you, PFL, October 11. Fight twice, win twice. Fight twice, win twice, and that would be me. So let's get that on. So thank you very much for having me again.
Thanks a lot, man. All the best to you on October 11th and moving on.
Thank you.